Good morning, I'm Angie Austin with Oil and Gas 360, and we are here at the EnerCom 2015 Oil and Gas Conference, the 20th year of the conference, and we're being joined this morning by Craig Rasmuson with Synergy Resources. He is the Chief Operating Officer with Synergy. Good morning, Craig.
Great to see you, Angie,
nice
and
to see you.
Thank you to EnerCom for having us again.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the company. Synergy's core assets are in the Wattenberg field in northern Colorado, right in our neck of the woods, your hometown guys. Could you talk about what makes that particular field attractive?
You know, it's the multiple pay zones. Those in the industry, kind of liken it to a cat. It's got 9 lives. You've got the Niobrara A, B, and C bench, the Codell. There's exploration going on into the Greenhorn now. There's some people in the areas that the rock allows in the Sussex Shannon. So you've got multiple shots on goal to drill the correct lateral, stimulate it properly, and make that oil and gas that is so prolific in this basin. So technology continues to evolve. It was a vertical game for a lot of privates back in the 80s. When the ability to refrac wells vertically came into light, then a lot of the big boys came in and started the consolidation. We feel in this environment here, some of the smaller entities or even some of the public entities are ripe for consolidation also. So that's where we're excited with our great balance sheet, our great management. We're run by finance guys, and we run it as a business. We don't leverage up. We don't put ourselves into corners that we can't get out of. So we're not liking $42 oil where we're sitting today, but in the fact that it allows us to hopefully work on some M&A deals. This is the right environment to be doing it in. Not at $100 oil. You want to do it in this environment and create that shareholder value.
All right, so you've got more than 1,000 drilling locations in the Wattenberg, in the Niobrara A, B, C benches, and the Codell, which you'd mentioned. So what does Synergy's drilling program look like for the rest of this year?
Well, we are, calendar year, we have a very funky, if you will, sorry for the slang, but fiscal year. We end here August 31st, our fiscal year of 2015. So we're embarking on our new CapEx for 2016. We are very nimble, and we can be very reactive to commodity price. We do not have any lease term expirations that are going to keep us having to drill ahead and turn wells on in this price environment. We are committed here, present day, to stay with our 1-rig program. We were modeling to start with a 2nd rig here this fall, unless we see a nice pushback of commodities to the 50s, mid-50s, 60 is perfect for us, dollars a barrel. And hopefully a strengthening of the natural gas price also. Obviously these wells bring us both those products. So right now, just to reemphasize, we don't have lease term issues, so we can stay ahead of what we need to do with a 1-rig program or even less. So we may just drill ahead and not complete. We did that this past year. We had 40 wells at the first of the year that were ready for completion with a 3-rig program we had going at that time. And we just held on and stayed those completions until May, and we saw a little better price environment to turn those wells on. So we will, again, with our clean balance sheet and being able to drill through cash flow, not having to go to any credit facilities to go to the street for any help, we can stay with the 1-rig program. So fully funded, and we'll just react accordingly to what the commodities tell us and the environment tells us.
All right. All right, Craig, since 2013, Synergy has put together a 100% compound annual production growth rate. For the first 9 months of the FY in 2015, you've already surpassed 8,000 barrels per day. Could you talk about Synergy's 3-year goal for return on capital? Because they want to know if the company can keep up the growth rate going in today's down cycle.
We're not so fixated on production right now. We know with a 1-rig program what our exit of this fiscal year here later this August going into September of 15, which is our fiscal year of 16, that we can sustain and stay flat, maybe a little bit of an increase in production with a 1-rig program. So again, we have been growing compound year over year at a great rate of 100% plus. We could do that if commodities dictated. We have the ability, staff-wise, acreage-wise, permit-wise, all of the things that need to align to be prepared to throw a rig onto a drilling unit, we're there. It's just we're going to pace ourselves in this price environment. We're really more fixated in this environment on getting the right acreage to bolt on, whether that's through organic leasing of acres right there in the Wattenberg, in the heart of it, and the core of the core is what we're most inclined to spend dollars on. But trying to get deals done that is bolt-on acreage that's contiguous to the acres that we have, allows us to do the mid-length and extended length laterals, which are so efficient, limits the surface impact, but also it limits the cost of the well. You're already drilled the well to a certain level and just continue it on for 2,000 or 5,000 more feet. It's unbelievably efficient, and our peers in the basin, some of the bigger operators, we liken them to our R&D, they're our research and development, have proven that's the right way to develop these minerals. So we'll continue to just work hard on the M&A front. If we're able to get a deal closed that allows us that, we'll probably at that point inherit a drilling program, some contracts of drilling rigs if we're able to get another company to join us, if you will. And so that's one of the reasons that we can be a little more nimble now and not sign up for another rig. Let's see where some things shake out here in the near term for us on that front.
All right, let's talk about synergies. 54,000 net acres in the northeast Wattenberg extension area on the border of Morgan and Weld counties, not far from here. Noble, Bonanza Creek, Whiting, and Bill Barrett are up there with you. So what's going on up there? What formations are you testing, and are you having some drilling results?
Yeah, we drilled a test well last year, vertical test well, took all the full cores and sidewall cores. We've put all the science behind. We have drilled it's called the Conrad well, a well right on the Morgan County, Weld County line that is in the Greenhorn. And we really studied through the science, people that are a lot smarter than I am, indicating where we should be within that formation. And with that being said, we've been waiting to complete it for a handful of reasons. One being commodity price driven. Two, we are staffing up. We are getting a Denver presence. There's a lot of talent, if you will, that's working for other companies that are intrigued by the opportunities at Synergy and where our company's growing quickly too. We just hired a vice president of completions who came over from one of the big operators, and he's a wealth of experience. He's 20 plus years at Halliburton prior to his last 5 years of managing the completions for one of the major companies here in town. So he just started last week. We wanted his eyes on the design, making sure he did do some greenhorns at his previous company, and making sure we put our best shot on goal. We feel like we've put all the science behind it. We feel like we're going to give ourselves the best opportunity to make hydrocarbons there. But again, it's one well. I think we need to keep that in perspective. It took hundreds and hundreds of wells, and now we have thousands of wells horizontally in the Wattenberg, and operators are still tweaking their designs and trying to maximize how and the best practices to make your best wells. We're not going to hang our hat. If it's a home run, yes, we'll click our heels. But we think it's going to take a few dozen wells for us to really hone in with all the science we put behind it to make this a viable area. We have some lease term issues, but we have extensions out there, so we're going to keep defending. We have money in our CapEx going forward. I talked earlier about we don't have any lease expirations. That would be in the Wattenberg and the core of it. Up in the Northeast Extension, we do have some things expiring over the next 2 years. But we have our people on it and the wheels in motion on keeping and being able to defend that acreage with the intent that we're going to make a good well and we're going to want all those acres.
Well, you just mentioned hiring a key player, and then also the Denver aspect that you're moving into Denver.
Right.
You're
Absolutely.
Opening an office right in the Denver metro
area.
Right.
We worked off a farm, a gorgeous farm, very well renovated, beautiful setting, up in the Platteville area for the last 7.5 years, and we needed a Denver presence. One, the talent's here. Two, we ran out of office space in Platteville. So we'll keep that as a field office and a production office. And the majority of all of our new folks coming on board and some of the folks that have been driving from Denver actually up to Platteville on a daily basis will be joining us here in Denver. We're under lease. We have 2 floors at 1625 Broadway. So
you just August 1st you moved in.
We just moved in. We're waiting for wires to get aligned and computers to get up and phones to be put in, but the office furniture's in and we're ready to go. We're targeting September 1st to open the doors, and we have a lot of new staff we've hired.
Yeah.
We have some neat announcements in the near future on some other management level staff that we're hiring, and it's just going to help us elevate and motivate to the next level with our company.
The optimism certainly shines
Absolutely.
through on your
Absolutely.
part and the company's
Thank
part.
you.
All right, your management team is known for, besides the optimism, the long-term expertise in the Wattenberg. Are there other areas you might have an eye on, or are you adding more acreage in the DJ? What's the company going for next?
Yeah, no, not outside of the DJ. Focused on the core, Wattenberg. That's where we're going to continue to make hay. If we have opportunities that are in the DJ, and the DJ is pretty vast, obviously branches out to western Nebraska and obviously southeast Wyoming, and we have opportunities across our desks often. We're going to evaluate them. We're going to really consider everything, but our focus, especially on this environment, is to stay right in the heart of what we know, where we're making the best wells, and that's right in the core of the Wattenberg.
All right, now in terms of next year, what do you think the climate's going to be in 2016?
Well, we obviously would like to see commodities get back. We don't want to see them go back to 90 and 100. That's way too frothy. And nothing against service companies. They're our partners in this, and they're our partners now at $40-something a barrel. But they as we're making more money, they all want more money. The prices get out of control, and things get crazy. We'd love to see things. We really think $60 a barrel is the new 90. If it can stay in that 60 range, we need to get it to 60. We've seen a lot of smart people analyzing, with daily production and what the needs are, that we hopefully will see 60 in the first quarter of 16, and we just hope it stabilizes and stays there. Where we've got our drilling and completion costs down to with our partners and our service companies, we can make a good living for everybody, all people in, and help this economy of Colorado, help us nationally with creating things that our consumers use every day.
Well, I read that you work a lot of hours, so it's fortunate for you that you like what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Just amazed. I spent 16 years in a different profession and never knew what you'd do, but when one door closes, another opens. Love what we do, and our whole team's that way.
Well, I sure appreciate your time, and it was
Angie.
interesting for me to learn more about the business
Great.
as well.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Appreciate you.
All right. I'm Angie Austin with Oil and Gas 360, and we were just joined by Craig Rasmuson, interviewing him. He's with Synergy Resources, and we are at the EnerCom 2015 Oil and Gas Conference. Thanks for joining us.